You think women start playing games when they get distant, stop replying, or start acting cold. That's not when it starts. By the time she's pulling away, the game is already in motion. The frame is already set. And she didn't set it with attitude or argument. She said it with four tiny words: soft, harmless, casual. So harmless that you didn't even question them. And that's exactly why they work. Every man has heard these words. Almost no man understands what they actually mean. If you've ever waited hours for a reply that never came, told yourself she's just busy, stayed in limbo on a maybe that went nowhere, accepted the role of friend, hoping it would turn into more believed a soon that never arrived, then you've already been shaped by the quiet power of those words. Not informed, shaped. This isn't about hating women. This is about understanding female psychology well enough that you stop letting four syllables control your emotions, your time, and your self-respect. In this breakdown, I'm going to show you the four words women use when they want to keep your energy without giving you commitment, clarity, or responsibility, how each word quietly flips the power dynamic against you, and how high value men respond in a way that instantly shifts the frame back in their favor. Once you see it, you won't be able to unsee it, and you'll stop falling into dynamics where you're doing the chasing, explaining, and overthinking while she just watches. The silent weapon, how one word sets the frame. Most men look for answers in her actions. She used to call all the time. Now she barely texts. We used to talk for hours. Now everything feels dry. She used to be excited to see me. Now it feels like I'm bothering her. What they miss is that before her behavior changed, she usually said something that changed the frame. Women rarely just flip behavior without first giving themselves psychological cover. That cover is language. One word, one label, one vague phrase. That's all it takes to tilt the entire emotional playing field. Psychology calls this framing. You don't respond to raw reality. You respond to how reality is framed. Think about it. We need to talk triggers anxiety. Let's figure this out triggers collaboration. Your overreacting triggers a defensiveness. Same situation, different frames, entirely different reactions. Women are usually better at this than men because they're socially wired from childhood to read and manage emotional dynamics, not by force, by influence. She doesn't say, I'm deprioritizing you. She says, I've just been so busy. She doesn't say, you're plan C. She says, maybe, I'll let you know. She doesn't say, I don't want you sexually. She says, you're such a good friend. She doesn't say, this will never happen. She says, soon. The words sound gentle, but each one does something very specific. It protects her from guilt. It keeps you hopeful. It delays your reaction. It lets you adjust downward without her ever looking like the bad guy. You don't realize you've surrendered to the frame. You only feel confused, anxious, and weirdly addicted. So let's break them down one by one. Word number one, busy, the soft test of your self-respect. She's just busy. Those three words have kept more men in delusion than any dating app ever has. When a woman says, I've just been so busy lately. Sorry, my week has been crazy. I wanted to reply, but I've been slammed. Most men hear, she's overwhelmed. I should be understanding. So they wait. They send another text. They lower their expectations. They accept less attention. They think they're being patient. They think that's attractive. To a woman, it signals something else. I can lower my effort, and he'll stay. Here's the truth nobody tells you. Busy is rarely about time. It's about priority. When a woman is genuinely into a man, she doesn't get less available. She gets resourceful. She finds 30 seconds to send a quick message. She sends a voice note on the way to work. She doubles down because her schedule is crazy, not despite it. Men do this in business all the time. You'll respond to an important client even on your worst day. Why? Because they're high priority. Attraction works the same way. The psychology behind busy. Busy is often the first layer of something deeper, intermittent reinforcement. That's the same mechanism that makes slot machines addictive. You don't win every time. You don't know when you'll win. But occasionally, you get a hit. Your brain starts working harder for the reward, even when the payouts are shrinking. Now watch how this plays out with her. Monday, you text. No reply. Tuesday, nothing. You tell yourself she's busy. Wednesday, out of nowhere, she responds with warmth, playfulness, maybe even a photo. Your brain lights up. You feel like you just won something. You didn't win anything. You got a small hit of attention after investing days of energy into silence. You started working harder for less. From her side, whether she knows it consciously or not, she's calibrating. What happens if I reply late? What happens if I don't reply at all? What happens if I give him just enough to keep him close? She's not measuring her schedule. She's measuring your self-control. How high-value men respond to busy, low-value response. Explain your feelings. Ask if everything is okay. Keep texting to check in. Wait around hoping she comes back. High-value response. You take busy as a data point, not a crisis. You don't chase. You adjust. You match her pace or move slower. You give your energy to people who reciprocate instead of, it's okay, I understand, I'll wait. You think, she's busy, cool, so am I. You don't punish her. You don't get angry. You simply stop giving top-tier effort to someone giving you low-tier access. And here's the flip, when she realizes you don't orbit her anymore. Busy stops being an excuse and starts feeling like a risk, because all of a sudden, your absence is more noticeable than her schedule. Men think patience is attractive. It's not. Boundaries are. Word number 2, maybe. The soft cage of emotional limbo. Maybe is the nice word for no that keeps you from walking away. Maybe we can hang this weekend. Maybe I'll let you know. Maybe I'm just not sure yet. You hear possibility. What she's offering is suspension. Maybe doesn't open a door. It opens a loop and then leaves you inside it. You stay emotionally available, keep your schedule flexible, hold yourself back from other options, keep investing in a future she hasn't actually chosen. She keeps you interested. Avoids feeling guilty, doesn't have to commit, doesn't have to reject you either. Perfect for her. Disastrous for you. The real use of maybe. Maybe is a buffer. It gives her time to see who else is available, time to see how she feels, time to see if the guy she really wants comes through, while keeping you emotionally parked. You're not her first choice. You're not her last choice. You're her backup choice. She might not even be malicious about it. Most women are managing multiple emotions, options, and pressures at once, but the effect is the same. You're in limbo. She's in control. The mistake men make most men think they're being reasonable. I don't want to pressure her. She said maybe, so there's still a chance. I'll give her time. That shows I'm different. No. To a woman, that reads as, I can keep him on the hook without giving him anything real. You're not showing patience. You're showing you're comfortable with low clarity. Women test boundaries. You're telling her you don't really have any. How high-value men treat maybe. High-value men treat maybe as if they heard no, not emotionally. Logically, You don't argue. You don't push. You simply respond with something like, cool, let me know when you're sure. And then you carry on with your life. You make other plans. You talk to other women. You keep momentum. You do not move your schedule around just in case. Sit at home waiting for a maybe to become a yes. Seek reassurance. Women can hold you in limbo only if you decide to live there. When you refuse to live in maybe, one of two things happens. One, she snaps into clarity and starts giving real answers. Two, she fades away. Both outcomes are wins, because either you get a woman who actually chooses you, or you stop wasting time on a woman who never would have. Word number three, friend. The gentle downgrade that feeds on your hope. You're such a good friend. Every man has felt that sentence in his gut. Because what she just did with one word is this: took the emotional support, removed the romantic responsibility, and let you believe staying close will somehow turn into more. It almost never does. Women categorize men fast. Men they want, men they respect, men they can use, men they can confide in safely. Friend is that last category. I feel safe sharing my emotions with you because I feel no pressure to be attracted to you. You become her counselor, her emotional trash, can her comfort provider for the breakups other men cause. She cries over the guy who never texted back, to the guy who always does. You think the closeness is building something. In reality, it's removing the sexual polarity. She feels safe, not stirred. The emotional labor trap. You text back fast. You take late night calls. You give thoughtful advice. You listen for hours. You think, if I show her how much I care, she'll see I'm different. She thinks, whenever I feel bad, he'll be there. Women deeply value emotional support, but when you give it without boundaries, they consume it without cost. You are training her nervous system. I feel anxious. I go to him. I feel better. There's zero incentive to change that setup. Why would she? Meanwhile, the men she's attracted to are getting her effort, her risk, her sexual energy. You get her debrief afterward. How men keep themselves stuck. Here, men stay in the friend role because of one hidden belief: if I leave, I might lose my chance. Newsflash, you don't have a chance. You have access. Access is not attraction. Staying doesn't increase it, it freezes it. She sees you the same way a person sees a couch: always there, always available, never reconsidered. How high value men handle friend. You have two options when she hits you with a friend label. Option one, genuinely accept it. You. Emotionally detach from romantic expectation, limit how much emotional labor you give, maintain your standards and your dating life elsewhere. You stay in her life, but on your terms, not as a free therapist. Option two, step out, you say, or show through actions. I'm not looking for just friendship here. No hard feelings, but I'm going to pull back. Then you do exactly that. You dramatically reduce your availability, the depth of conversations, the emotional energy you invest. You don't do this as a tactic to win her back. You do it because you respect your time and desire. Here's the paradox. The moment you stop behaving like the safe emotional cushion is the first moment she might actually see you as a man, not a service. Does that mean she'll suddenly fall in love? No, but it forces the dynamic to become honest. Either she reevaluates you or the connection fades. Honesty is always better than starvation level hope. Word number 4, soon, the future that never arrives. We'll hang soon. I'll be ready soon. I'll let you know soon. Soon is the most efficient way to keep you emotionally attached to something that doesn't exist. It sounds optimistic. It sounds gentle. It sounds promising. But there's a problem. Real plans have details. Fake futures have soon. Soon is emotional anesthesia. It numbs the pain of a no while preventing you from moving on. Why women use soon. Soon lets her avoid confrontation, avoid commitment, avoid feeling like the bad guy while still keeping your interest, your messages, your availability. She might genuinely intend to follow through at the moment she says it, but intention without structure is nothing. If there's no day, time, place, concrete follow up, it's not a plan, it's a sedative. You relax emotionally because you think something's coming. You lower your standards because she dangled a future. She doesn't feel urgency because you already rewarded her with attention. It's a win for her nervous system, not necessarily for you. The soon cycle, you ask, when are you free? She says, let's do something soon. You feel lighter. Okay, we're good. Days pass. Nothing happens. You remind her. She says, yeah, definitely soon. Repeat. Every loop. She keeps your interest. You reinforce her behavior. Your self-respect quietly erodes. You're anchored to a future she never actually put on the calendar. How high-value men treat soon. High-value men understand a simple rule. If it's not scheduled, it doesn't exist. So when she says soon, they smile, say something like, cool, hit me when you know, and mentally treat it as no plan at all. Then they move on. Not dramatically, not angrily, just decisively. They don't keep bringing it up. Text reminders wait at home just in case. They never rearrange their life around a word that cost her nothing to say. If she reaches out later with something concrete, cool. If she doesn't, nothing changes because he never invested in a fantasy. And that's the difference. Low-value men invest in words. High-value men invest in actions. What these four words really reveal. Here's the harsh truth. Busy, maybe, friend, and soon don't reveal much about her. They reveal almost everything about you. Each word is a small probe. Busy. Will he lower his standards for my limited effort? Maybe. Will he sit in limbo instead of moving on? Friend. Will he give me emotional benefits without commitment? Soon. Will he believe in a future that costs me nothing? She might not be consciously thinking all that, but emotionally, that's exactly what gets recorded. Your behavior and response becomes data. Does this man have boundaries? Does he respect his time? Does he lead himself or wait for me to decide? This is why arguing with the word is pointless. But you're not really busy. Do you ever actually know? I don't want to be just friends. You said soon last week. All that does is show you're emotionally dependent on her explanations. High-value men don't interrogate her language. They observe her patterns and then calibrate their behavior. The shift from being framed to being the frame. Everything changes when you stop letting her words define your emotional state. Instead of, she's busy, I'll wait. She said maybe, there's hope. At least I'm in her life as a friend. She said soon, so I'll hang on. You move to a busy, cool, my life stays full either way. Maybe, text me when it's a yes. Until then, I'm moving. Friend, I'll decide if that role serves me. If not, I'm out. Soon, until there's a date, I assume there's nothing. You're not being cold or cruel. You're being clear. Women don't test you to destroy you. They test to see if you can hold your center when things are unclear. Most men collapse. They overexplain. They overgive. They overweight. High-value men stay still. They don't chase vague signals. They don't negotiate for attention. They don't abandon themselves to keep a spot in her life. And ironically, those are the men women respect the most. Not because they're manipulative, because they're anchored. What you do from here. If you've seen yourself in any of this, you have two choices. One, stay the same. Keep interpreting busy, maybe, friend soon as harmless. Keep waiting, keep hoping, keep explaining. Two, change the frame. Start treating those words as information about where you stand. Adjust your investment accordingly. The fastest way to regain control isn't to change women. It's to change how fast you adjust to the truth. If she's truly interested, your boundaries won't scare her. They'll focus her. If she's not, your boundaries will flush her out quickly so you can stop wasting time. Either way, you win. Remember this, your time is not free. Your presence is not cheap. Your attention is not a consolation prize. The moment you start treating those things as scarce resources, women stop testing how little they can give you and start deciding whether they're willing to rise to your level. If this opened your eyes, subscribe for more content like this. Share this with a man you know who's stuck waiting on busy, maybe, friend, or soon. Drop your situation in the comments, and I'll break down exactly what she's signaling and how to respond without losing your center. Master your reactions. You master the dynamic because control was never hers. You were just handing it over.